Everyone wants to know what the best methods are to source products to resell them on Amazon. There are many different ways. For example, if you're doing online arbitrage, you can do lead lists or you can do storefront stalking. You can also scrape websites, retail websites, or if you want to do wholesale, you can scrape wholesale websites or do straight up price list analysis. You can also do Amazon to Amazon or even brand direct deals. There are many different ways to source products. Now, if you don't know me, my name is George Dimitriou. I'm an Amazon wholesale seller. I've been selling on Amazon for over 8 years. I'm completely remote. So I've been selling in the US, even though I live in Australia. I'm a 7-figure seller, soon to be an 8-figure seller. And I've done a lot of these methods and I'll talk about them in this video. I'll be ranking these methods in terms of scalability, profitability, ease to entry, competition, and things like that. So let's jump in. My least favorite will have to be lead lists. Now, in terms of ease to entry, it's very easy to get started. Have an Amazon account, an Amazon seller account, buy a lead list of someone. Now, that's not the hard part. Getting into it is very easy. The problem is how the products are sourced and who they're given to. So many times you might subscribe to someone who might be selling you lead lists, and they might sell you, for example, a list a day or one a week. It just depends on what type of deal it is. But the problem is who they're giving it to. If you're not the only person that they're selling it to, then they're probably selling it to many other people. So everyone has access to those same products. When you receive a lead list and you look at the products, they always look great. Oh, this one has $12 profit. This one has $18 profit. This one sells 50 units a month. This one sells 1,000 units a month. Everything looks nice. But what ends up happening is once you find those products and you try to source them, firstly, there's a very high likelihood that because they've sent it to a bunch of other people, by the time you see it, those products might not be available from the retailer anymore. And if they are available, the next problem is that a lot of other people have probably bought them as well. So when it comes time to selling those products, there's so much competition on every single listing that you have to drop the price. Then another person has to drop the price as well in order to make the sale. And the price just keeps dropping lower and lower and lower, and you end up making no profit. You can see this very often on certain listings. You see listings, for example, with 70 or 80 sellers, and all of them have like 3 to 6 units each. And the price just keeps tanking and tanking and tanking. Unless the product has really high sales volume, it's not really a go. Another problem with lead lists is that many times when you're buying off retailer websites, they're limiting you to how many units you can buy. So it's not very scalable. Like, let's say, for example, you found an awesome, product through a lead list. It sells 1,000 units a month. It has $10, $15 profit, whatever. If you want to buy 100 of them, in many cases, it's very hard. You can't even buy 100. Sometimes websites limit you to how many units you can buy. Or when you try to buy even more and you actually succeed with an order, it gets canceled. These are some of the problems when it comes to online lead lists. Next is storefront stalking or reverse sourcing. Now, what this entails is you going online, checking out other sellers' storefronts, seeing what they sell, finding the products that make sense for you, and then sourcing those products. Now, it is a bit better, in my opinion, than lead lists. Now, I'll tell you why. It's because you're using your own initiative to find sellers, that aren't open for all. You have to find a specific seller. You're looking at their stuff and then sourcing the products. But at the end of the day, you're still running into the same competition with lead lists. You have problems with retail websites that only offer a few units, so it's not very scalable. It's very easy to start, of course. It's just as easy as a lead list, maybe even easier. But you're looking at retail websites that have a lot of limitations on how many units you can buy. And at the end of the day, you're doing things that other people are doing, a lot of other people are doing. Because of that ease of entry, a lot of people start by doing this. It's a very good way to get started, but in my opinion, it's not very scalable. The profit probably is a bit better than normal lead lists, but it's not the best. There's better methods. Amazon to Amazon is actually a very interesting one. Now, in my opinion, it can actually scale quite well, but you have to be a bit of a sourcing genius. You have to really understand what you're doing. There's a lot of opportunities for Amazon to Amazon in Europe. For example, buy something from Amazon Germany and sell it in Amazon France or Amazon UK. There's a lot of opportunity for cross-country selling, a lot of opportunity in that section. Now, it involves starting off at Keeper. You go to Keeper and you really need to understand how to use the product finder. There's a lot of different methods, which I've shown in different videos of how to do it. You got to look for, drops, percentage drops in pricing. You got to look for opportunities where Amazon is really dropping the price on goods, and look for, in my opinion, you should look at other marketplaces or other ASINs for that specific product, that can be very profitable. Now, the reason why I say it can be quite profitable is because you can also go for high ticket items this way. You can find something that Amazon has dropped the price on recently, and it's selling for $100, which normally sells at $300. So that's why I can say that it's kind of scalable, but you have to become a sourcing genius. You have to be really good and very smart. You have to really understand how you buy, get ungated, and do all those types of things, and then resell at the right time. So it's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of work that involves you being online at all times, trying to source these products. So not simple, but definitely a lot of ways to make money doing Amazon to Amazon. It's even better in Europe, in my opinion, better than the US. But you can also do from US and sell in Europe. Some opportunities to sell from Europe to the US, but in my opinion, in Europe, in the bounds of buying something from, for example, from UK and selling it in Germany, there's many different opportunities that way. But also, don't always look at selling it under the same ASIN. In my opinion, when you download it from Keeper and then you upload it to Astro or wherever you do it, use the UPC, because you might find an ASIN, get that UPC from that ASIN, and there might be another 3 or 4 ASINs associated to that UPC that are selling at a higher price. So there's many different ways to go for it. But anyway, that is for another video. And I have done a couple of videos on A to A, so you might want to check out my channel to see those videos. In my opinion, I put it in the middle. I think it's a good sourcing method. If you have the time and the knowledge and understanding, it's a decent sourcing method. The next method, I'm actually really liking this one. It's web scraping and AI title matching. When you can scrape a website, it's something that not many people are doing. So people in the past have always needed, for example, to hire someone to scrape a website. It might cost them $100 just to scrape one single website. Now you can actually start using AI to do it. I do it with Claude. I have a video on how I do it with Claude with an extension, or you can do it for free with Web Scraper. It takes a bit longer with Web Scraper because you have to look at each page individually and click on the buttons, but it still works. If you do it with Claude, for example, it's a paid tool. It can become quite expensive for some people. But you can write a prompt and have it scrape the entire website. You scrape it, for example, for the title, the price. If there's a UPC, awesome. You can just grab the UPC as well. And then after you get all those details, you upload them to a scanner. With the scanner, you can just go through all those products and see which ones make sense. Now, in terms of ease to entry, it's a bit harder because you have to understand how to do it. Not many people are doing it. That's why there's more opportunity in it. Now, you're also looking at any random retail website. So you can go to any website. So that opens yourself up to the whole internet. So you're looking at all these products and then you're instantly finding which ones make sense by uploading them to a scanner. It's very scalable, not so much on the retail side, more scalable on the wholesale side. If you go to a wholesale website, one that, for example, so they say we don't have no price lists, just check out our website, which a lot of them do. That way, if you go to their website and just scrape their website and see exactly what's going on, upload them to a scanner. Not many people are doing this. So there's a huge opportunity in this phase. If you're doing it from the point of view of wholesale websites, now it's not easy to enter because most wholesalers require you to have high MOQs. They need you to purchase large amounts, large quantities or large, costs in order for you to actually even buy from them. Not many people are doing this compared to the, OA stuff. So if you become good at sourcing these products through wholesale means, then you're much more, there's much more profitability and it's much more scalable. Because just imagine if a wholesaler has 1,000 units of something that sells, 10,000 units a month on Amazon, you can easily just buy 1,000 units and they can sell. So it's very scalable and it can be very profitable. There is competition, of course. It's not as if, you're by yourself, but if you understand how to source the products real well, then you can not eliminate competition, but understand which products don't have as much competition and really source those products. So I'm going to have to rank it very high on my list. Number 2. Next is straight up wholesale price list, which I have to admit is one of my favorites, but there's a caveat to it. Now, in terms of ease to entry, it's not that easy to get into. If they have a low MOQ, you don't want to really deal with that supplier because everyone's looking at them. But if they have a high MOQ, that's a good sign in my opinion. If they have a high MOQ, they usually have good pricing as well, but they want large orders. They don't want you ordering just $1,000 or $2,000 worth of goods. They might want you ordering $10,000, $20,000 worth of goods. You want to get on those ASINs that have fewer competition so you can sell your products, fast and profitable. It is probably the most scalable because when you can buy 1,000 or 2,000 units of a product and other people, doing online arbitrage, lead lists and all that are stuck at 3 units, or 6 units per product, If you can just buy heaps of them, obviously it's going to be more scalable, assuming you know how to source products and analyze lists. When you're doing wholesale, if you get in deep with a supplier, you build up a relationship with that supplier. Sometimes these relationships might need you investing years of time and effort and money, of course, into them, but they can start, really helping you out and applying, discounts to your list, discounts to certain SKUs. Like on one SKU, I remember I bought 1,000 units and they dropped the price by 40%. So there's a lot of that type of stuff going on if you get in tight and deep with a supplier. So ease of entry, obviously it's very, very hard to get into that because there's a lot of effort on many parts. But once you do get into it and you're analyzing these lists, you're scanning them, you can get things going so much faster. So in terms of profitability, scalability, it's very high up on the list. Long-term sustainability, very high on the list. Ease of access or ease to entry, it's very low. It's not good, but that's something you actually want. You don't want things to be easy. You want them to be hard because what's hard is what most people are not doing because it's too hard. They don't want to do it. Now, I have a bonus one for you, an extra one, and that's brand deals or brand direct. Now, these ones are the hardest. There's a lot of people trying to do brand direct. It's not very easy to get into because brands are constantly being approached by sellers trying to get exclusives or just trying to sell the products directly from the brand because they think they're going to get the best pricing. And in many cases that they will get the best pricing. But when there's so many people or so many sellers approaching a brand, the brand usually just shuts their windows and or their doors and just say, no more, we don't want any more sellers. We're not going to deal with you. Especially even if you want exclusives, because sometimes they might get in tight with one person that's going to be an exclusive seller of theirs and they don't want anyone else. So it can be very tough going right to the brand. But of course, it's going to be very profitable if you do get a good brand. Another caveat to this is if there is a brand that's not very well known, they're usually going to be open to anyone working with them because they're just kind of desperate. So those situations you kind of do want to avoid, because if a brand's desperate for you to buy their products, that means that they don't really have much traffic. They don't have a lot of people buying the product. So they just want to make sales. They just want to try to make money. Those cases are very easy. You can open up in a case like that very easy. But if you do that, then you have to also understand how to bring traffic to that product because it doesn't already have traffic inbuilt into it. It's not a well-known brand that already has traffic. You have to bring the traffic to it. So you're kind of becoming a private label seller. You have to understand all these other techniques like PPC, listing optimization, keyword optimization, titles, all these different types of things in order to get those products to sell well. So essentially you're becoming more of an e-com guy rather than a straight out reseller. So brand direct will probably be the best out of everything, assuming you can land these accounts. You have to work very hard at finding these brand direct deals. And a lot of times it won't just stop at brand direct. They'll probably want you to optimize the listings and do a lot of things to bring even more traffic, even if they already have traffic. Otherwise, there's no other reason for them to give you an exclusive or even to sell you the products. So brand direct will probably be the best, but it's probably the hardest to get into because you're competing a lot against a lot of other sellers, a lot of other people, and even agencies who do this as a business. They just go from brand to brand to brand and approach these at a very professional level, saying how they're going to help increase their sales, and they're trying to get exclusive deals. So brand direct will have to be a bonus one because it kind of comes into a different category altogether. And there are also a lot of people, just letting you know, a lot of people offering courses on how to do brand direct. So it's getting more and more competition these days. But if you do land a deal, it's going to be gold. Now I'm going to talk about how Astro ties into all these different sourcing methods. Now, when it comes to online arbitrage, lead lists, and reverse sourcing, basically what you want to do is you want to store all your lists into Astro. So like, let's say you've been doing it for a year. Everything you've gotten since that, the last 12 months, grab those lists and just put them in Astro. Now, when some time goes by, you can refresh the list and you can see which ones make sense. You can sort the list or filter the list by every single retailer that you have or every supplier that you have and see which ones make sense. A lot of times you'll be finding some gems from things that you found 11 months ago or 8 months ago. You'll find those gems and other people aren't looking at those gems at the same time you're looking at them. That's the way it can actually work, and you can make profit and avoid the competition. A to A, Amazon to Amazon, it's a real cool one, like I said. Now, you can do this from one country to another. You can do it any method you want. But what I like to do is you go to Keeper Product Finder. You look for products that Amazon is selling that dropped considerably in price in the last 1 or 2 weeks. For example, let's imagine a product that Amazon is selling, and it was originally $120 and Amazon dropped the price to $80. It happens often where Amazon just tanks the price on their own. You're going to use Keeper Product Finder to find a list of all those products, like 1,000 products that are like that, and you're going to download that through Keeper. Now, once you've done that, you want to upload that to Astro, but you're not going to use the ASIN as an identifier. You will use the UPC as an identifier. By using the UPC as an identifier, you'll find other ASINs that are associated to that product where Amazon might not be selling. You might find, for example, I said a product that was $120 dropped down to $80. You might find a version of that product that only sells 50 units a month, but it's priced at $160, $170. It's a nice, considerable amount of profit right in that list. So that's the way you want to make it work. And of course, you're going to use Astro to scan those lists, scan those UPCs, and find the ASINs that make sense, and using the original buy box price from the ASIN that you found. I have a video on this as well. Next is website scraping, and then using Astro's AI title match feature to find the products. Now, understand this. You scrape a website, you get all the products from the website. Now, those products, you have all the products, title, price, SKUs, all this information. A lot of times they don't have UPCs. So you can use Astro's brand new feature, AI title match feature, to find the ASINs with just the title and not the UPC. So doing this manually can take weeks of work. But imagine uploading 5,000 products to Astro's AI title match feature, and then within 20 minutes or 15 minutes, Astro finds all the ASINs that are associated to these titles, and it tells you if they're profitable or not. So it saves you a lot of work, but it is a paid feature. It's a feature you have to pay extra for. It costs 1 cent per title because it uses a lot of AI tokens. I have a video on how we do this. It is really out of the box. Not many people know about this yet, and they're not doing it yet. So there's a lot of opportunity, and basically you're open to the whole internet. All the retail websites that are available on the internet, you can do this and find gems where other people are not looking. So it is very unique, and you can get a lot out of this method. And last, of course, straight up wholesale price lists. Astro is a beast at scanning price lists. Upload a list with 50,000 products in there, UPCs, EANs, pricing, all those types of things. And where other tools might take, weeks of work for you to get the results, with Astro, you can upload them, and in an hour, you can fully analyze all the products and see exactly which ones are the winners and which ones you should be buying. That's the whole reason Astro was built, to get through that whole analysis phase instead of, needing, days or weeks, for example, to just analyze 10,000 products to get the results within an hour and a half, and know exactly which ASINs you should be purchasing. I really hope you guys got value out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or disagreements, write them up in the comment section below. I love reading your comments and I love answering them. So write a comment in the comment section below. If you want to get access to me or to Astro Advanced Analytics, check out the links in the description. I have my Telegram group there, and I also have links to Astro. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and thank you very much for watching.